Woohoo! It is Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant. We all thought he was the ultimate match winner in tests for India, but now he's now proven to be the ultimate match winner even in ODIs. What a time for his maiden ODI century. Rishabh Pant's magnificent 125 combined with Hardik Pandya's 4 wickets and a brilliant knock of 71. India have won the series 2-1. Pure statistics right at the very beginning, India have broken 8 years of pain. They have won a series in England for the first time since 2014. They had lost in 2018 2-1, but more importantly, they have erased the pain of Manchester. 39 years against England, and what a way to do it. It took something extraordinary from Rishabh Pant, 125, 113. The last few overs was vintage Rishabh Pant. 5 consecutive fours of David Willey, and what a way to get to his century. All critics of white ball cricket when it came to Rishabh Pant probably have been silenced for the time being. And how does he end it? An audacious reverse sweep off Joe Root. A very, very special knock for Rishabh Pant, but it was a very tense knock. India were 4 down, and the likes of Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli had all failed. Rohit and Virat, unfortunately, yet again 17 apiece, and there will be more questions on Virat Kohli. Now, we'll discuss Virat Kohli later, but Rishabh Pant, Shane, what a performance.
Rishabh Pant, what a performance. I think still, and I think unfortunately, I think he's going to take the man of the match, which might just be a bit of a shame considering Hardik Pandya put in an absolute shift with both bat and ball. But yes, Rishabh Pant, this is the Rishabh Pant that we have for so long been waiting for to show up in white ball cricket. At long last, he's put in the kind of match-winning performance that we knew that he could, deliver. And that's the best part. When we talk about Pant, we always say that there's potential, and we agree that he's underwhelmed when it comes to white ball cricket. But at long last, he's given the kind of performance, and honestly, the fact that he got the century is pretty much the icing on the cake. If he had to get out even 80, 90, 70, it would have still been a match-winning performance, because he and Pandya, that partnership absolutely rescued India. Because 4 down, you're thinking, who are your biggest match winners in ODI cricket? Rohit, Shikhar,
Virat
Kohli. All 3 gone.
Yep.
The other person who you think would be able to both resurrect and then finish an innings, Surya Kumar, gone cheaply. At that point, you're thinking, by the way, just another thing which won't probably get, discussed enough. First 3 wickets all again went to a certain
not restoring, left arm pace. Yep. That has been the bogey, and it will again be the bogey heading into the World T20. I hope India manages that. But again, there was one comment. Now you'll praise Pant, then in T20s blame him. Harish, let us be very, very clear on it. We have been advocating the fact that Rishabh Pant has underwhelmed, but we have not told him that, okay, just be dropped. No. Persist with Rishabh Pant, because he is your match winner, and he showed it today. In Manchester, you haven't won against England for 39 years. You had the baggage of history, but yet it took a Pant. It was a reverse of, say, 2017 or 2019, Shane, because why? In 2017-19, get Dhawan, Rohit, Virat, and you're in the game. Now, that necessarily need not be the case. Dhawan, Rohit, Kohli, all went cheaply. Even Surya went cheaply. But who rescued you? It was your middle order that was non-existent. That probably is the biggest takeaway from this Manchester win. Your middle order from number 5, 6, they got you in this match. They were the ones. And yeah, what an absolute beautiful innings by Rishabh Pant. The ODI batsman is truly a Pradeep Srivalsan. Absolutely. I mean, today, let us just appreciate Rishabh Pant and the magnitude of what he has done. Because, frankly, it could have been easy for Rishabh Pant to throw away his wicket, because he's that kind of player.
Exactly.
But he curbed his natural instinct, played a very, very sensible knock, allowed Hardik Pandya to ensure that let him go for it. 71 of 55 balls. He was the real game changer. And after Pandya went, Pant took over 125 of 113. Simply magnificent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we talk about, I think, oftentimes when you have a talent like Rishabh Pant, there's 2 schools of thought. A, he probably has to mature a lot more. B, you let him go out there and play his exact natural game.
Yep.
And sometimes he'll win you a match and sometimes that won't come up. The problem was, I think there's two things. One, he may have been a little confused when it came to what exactly was the approach they should have taken. Do you be responsible, especially considering they had flirted with making him a higher top order batsman rather than a 5 or 6. He has batted at 4 a lot. But today, I think there was a good balance of everything because he knew that the situation was such that if his or Hardik's wicket went, then potentially you're exposing a long tail, except for Jadeja.
Yes.
Jadeja was the only one there who could really potentially carry on the innings, but he showed responsibility, him and Hardik, and there's nothing, I think nothing more can be said about, I think, even Hardik Pandya, because I think in 2022 he's been the man with the goal, Midas touch. Everything he's touching is turning to gold, whether it be captaining his debuting franchise to the IPL, to becoming the all-rounder that India always hoped he would become. Not excellent performances with the bat, wonderful with the ball, always a gun fielder.
Yep.
So I think with these two there, you knew that okay, if they stayed and if they kind of made a bit of a partnership, the runs weren't that much. The worry at that point for India was okay, they'd lost one too many wickets.
Yep.
That was the big worry, but these two constructed the innings beautifully, and Pant, credit to him, stayed there till the end, made sure he was there to hit the winning runs.
Absolutely. This is what you would want Rishabh Pant to do. Winning you games in pressure situations, and this might be the starting point for Rishabh Pant and his maturity. I mean, look at the situation. He held in there, he played his strokes, but he took calculated risks and it was all either off the wicket. I mean, there was a heart in the mouth moment on 97 when he mistimed a pull, but luckily it went over David Will. You want that kind of luck also to go his way.
Yeah, sometimes you need that luck, of course. But of course, and I think I have to point this out, when we were talking about his struggles earlier, I said that, he doesn't have technical deficiencies as such. What happens is he's trying to slog from ball one regardless of the situation. So the ploy that got developed was you'd bowl it short and wide outside off. He'd go for a slog. It would just balloon up and he'd end up holing out.
Today,
because he took his time, got set, played according to the situation, and then thereafter once, there was no ball that was troubling him. Not a single delivery there was absolutely making him, giving us also as fans heart in the mouth moments. Wasn't happening.
Okay, I will take this comment from DK Sharma. He says, does this not seal a place for Pant in T20 World Cup? But in the counter, still Pant is a concern in T20s. Okay, there are two sides of this argument. Okay, let us yet again, not confuse formats. Yes, he did this well in an ODI, but if Pant performs well in the T20 series against the West Indies, or maybe even in the Asia Cup, then and only then we will say that Pant is the complete package when it comes to all forms of cricket. Yes, Pant is still a concern in T20s, but in ODIs, he was not that much under pressure. I mean, 450s in 9 innings, but because his lean trough was slightly longer, that is why it got overshadowed. But Nitish Sharma saying, I still remember a match in which Pant came out and people were chanting Dhoni. No comparisons, but I guess in past few months, we have moved on from Dhoni to Pant, and there is hope in Pant. Yes.
Absolutely.
Pant
you have to remember that Pant is what, 24?
24, yeah.
So I think, with batsmen, and this is something that, generally speaking, a batsman in particular always tends to get much smarter with experience. It's just that simple. He was fast-tracked to the Indian setup because he had an insane domestic record and he had the kind of explosiveness that few Indian batsmen did. Of course, he's had a hard learning curve, but I think that's also why the team, the BCCI in particular, has stuck with him no matter what. There have been a few aberrations, not making it to the 2019 World Cup squad and the like.
Making it in the most bizarre of circumstances and very volatile circumstances. Amit Kumar Jha Singh, can Hardik Pandya in T20 World Cup be UV of World Cup 2011? Again.
Let's not compare people here. UV was UV. Hardik is Hardik. But I'm very, very glad that, he's finally actually doing both roles.
Yes.
Because Hardik as a batsman is destructive enough. But a destructive Hardik and one who's then bowling the way he was bowling today. Different beast altogether.
But yes, in 3 T20Is and in the series against South Africa, he has been phenomenal. So one hopes that he can maintain that consistency, because remember, as a core, Hardik has now played in all the things, but I don't think he's there in the West Indies series. Or is he there? We'll have to check that.
Who?
Hardik Pandya.
I think
he is there in the West Indies tour. So one hopes that he can maintain that consistency. But again, Pant in T20 is wait and watch. But yes, in white ball cricket, we have not been critical. And Shura Ghosh, again, stop doubting Manu. You guys are very critical. You are mistaking the whole point, Suvra. We have been critical of Pant in T20s, not in ODIs. T20s also form part of the white ball scenario. So yes, wait and watch on Pant. But at the same time, in ODIs, his place was not in doubt. We were arguing that Pant's lean trough was probably a lot longer. But he was consistent enough. 450s in 9 innings and then now the century. What more do you want Pant to do? And yes, the chorus for Pant's struggles grew louder after that duck at Lord's.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. Pradeep, Dhruv, they were too early to judge Pant. He got 2 lives today, and Willie Overton are not world-class bowlers.
Yeah, but Willie and Overton, pretty much, and Topley, let's be fair, pretty much ran through the entire Indian batting order last time. So I think it's just a case of, him finding, or him doing the best with what was in front of him. You can't fault him for that.
You can't fault him for that. And not world-class bowlers, again, Dhruv.
And these same people, by the way, at least some of them, will now be clamouring for Sanju Samson because he had a 70 odd against Ireland.
Yes. Ireland. No disrespect to Ireland, but again, see, Sanju is facing an epic struggle for 2 reasons. Number one, position. What position will you bat him in? And second, even if it is in the wicket-keeping backup, he's behind DK.
He's behind DK and probably Ishan
Kishan. So where will you slot Sanju Samson? See, Rishabh and DK are going to the World T20 in Australia. Let us be absolutely clear on it.
As things stand, these 2 are the first choice and backup.
A dark horse in that could be Ishan Kishan. But whether as an opener or as a wicket-keeping option remains to be seen. If you ask me
personally, if you look in that 15, you would have a slot for 11, your first 11 we've discussed enough.
Yes.
4 players after that would be a backup opener / someone who can play in the middle order. And Ishan Kishan fits that bill.
Yes.
Okay. Then you'd have probably 1 middle order bat.
Yep.
So maybe a Huda or a
Shreyas Iyer.
That's your 2. 3 and 4 would be 1 pacer and 1 spinner.
Yes.
So 1 pacer I think would seem sorted pretty much. I don't know who it would be, but 1 pacer and 1 spinner. So in that regard, where do you fit a Sanju Samson into the scheme of things right now? Nowhere.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, let me go out on a limb and say one thing. I appreciate the fact that Sanju Samson has a major fan following. Hell, I would count myself as one of them because I really like watching the guy bat. But he will have to absolutely bang down on the doors at this point, and that means an IPL season where he's scoring 500, 600 runs at a strike rate of 140.
Yes.
To even be considered at this point.
See, now Sanju's opportunities now, I'm sorry, are all but done because he's not been picked in the West Indies.
At least until this World Cup cycle, I think.
Yeah, probably Sanju will get a longer run in the next cycle from 2024 to 2031, that new FTP cycle. Maybe 2024 West Indies and also US perhaps.
He needs to have an unbelievably good IPL.
Yes.
I'm telling you, 600 runs, 600 runs, strike rate of 140 odd.
And that
suddenly he's in the conversation.
Maybe that 600 runs. 2 centuries, no. And then after that, single digit. No. He has to be consistent. Like how Butler was.
Exactly. His major problem has always been that. And look, I understand this thing about that, people say what Pant hasn't been consistent. Correct. But he was also drafted into the international setup at a much younger age.
Yes.
And trusted on potential. And that potential is finally coming good now.
And with the case of Sanju, again, 2014 when he was in the Under-19 World Cup, Dhoni was still there.
Exactly.
And Pant came at around 2018 when Dhoni's powers were on the wane.
Yeah.
So you knew that and Pant had a fantastic 2017 season in domestic cricket.
Exactly.
Before IPL, his Ranji season was simply phenomenal. Triple century, fastest century in Ranji, as well as fastest in Syed Mushtaq Ali also.
Exactly. That is the kind of season that a Sanju needs to be having.
A Sanju needs to have, and he did have it, but again, he's not been consistent. Simple.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about Sanju Samson. Let's talk about the guys who actually played today.
Yes. So, Hardik. Again, 50 and 4 wickets. The only Indian, by the way, to do it in England.
Yeah.
Even the great Kapil Dev did not do that. So that is why the problem with Hardik now is that many people will be praying he doesn't peak too early. Because again, see, IPL, South Africa, England, he's ticked all the boxes when it comes to fielding, bowling, batting.
Yeah.
It was his batting and all-round exploits that helped India recover from that 2-2 deficit against 2-0 deficit against South Africa, pardon me. And so, that is why, even in England, in the first match, he was fantastic at Southampton.
For me, I'll be, honestly, my bigger worry with Hardik is, and in fact, I'm very glad that it's happening, is that he's getting a consistent run in his position where he's best, which is lower order bat, 5th, 6th bowling option, and bowling the way he is.
Yes.
The problem with Hardik in recent years hasn't been, performance or anything like that. It's that he's had injury issues that he's had to work around, and he could not bowl for the longest of times. Now he's bowling, he's looking good. His fitness seems to be back. I think it's great that they're actually playing him because he needs to stay in that rhythm.
Yes.
He needs to stay in that rhythm. So for me, the worry isn't that he'll peak early. I don't think it will, that's the worry. I think the worry would be, can he maintain the levels he's at?
Yes.
And stay fit till the World Cup?
Yep.
Because I think once the World Cup is done, he's set for a bit of a rest, I think.
Yes. See, GGK was asking, will Sanju bat at 3-4 ODIs give him 6-man sees magic? Perhaps for the 2023 World Cup, he could be considered.
Is he in the squad for West Indies?
He is, I think. He is there. No, he's not the T20 squad. He's there. He might be there for Zimbabwe.
Yeah, for Zimbabwe, most likely he would be there.
But again, when Sanju made his debut in Zimbabwe about 6-7 years back, didn't do much, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah, in fact, two players who I would argue did more in Zimbabwe never really got much of a look in thereafter. One being, of course, Manoj Tiwari, and the other being Manish Pandey. Someone who did pretty well in most Zimbabwe tours that he got. Didn't get much of a look in thereafter.
There was a comment by Ikpreet Singh. Can you just
scroll up slightly?
Shivam?
Oh, I think he only left one comment, so
that's right.
Lost. Up, more up.
There was a comment by Ikpreet.
Thoda sa upar. We'll move there.
There, yeah. Hello, want to ask Sidvi and Shane, if Virat doesn't score more than 20-25 runs in Asia Cup, will he be rested for the World T20 or still can't bowl a Tiger? Okay. Okay, now we will get back to Hardik and Rishabh
in
after
a few
minutes.
But let's
address the big elephant, tiger, cat, whatever you want to call it in the room.
Virat Kohli and his lack of form.
16 and 17 in the two matches ODIs that he played at Lord's and in Manchester. A total of 12 runs in the T20Is that he played. So in the white ball leg, 4 matches, he has just managed 45 runs in total.
Yikes. And
the two modes of dismissal in the ODIs was pitching outside off stump around the 6th line, poking. Both to left armers. One was to David Willey in Lord's and one was to Reece Topley here in Manchester.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're bowling a 6th, 7th line, if you're a batsman in full form, confident of yourself, not encumbered by anything, anyone's bowling a 6th, 7th line, you're slashing at it.
Yes.
He doesn't seem to be doing that at all and is tentative, and more often than not, that is costing him his wicket.
That is costing him his wicket, and yet again, that problem was there for Virat Kohli outside that off stump, 5th line, 4th, 5th line.
Yeah.
It might even sometimes go to 6th, but he used to poke at it even in the peak of his form.
Yeah, and the thing is, I understand, the best of batsmen will be outdone or undone by a ball that's on the 4th stump line. That's a very tricky line. You're not sure whether you want to defend, drive, push. You don't know. But 5th, 6th, 7th, that is a bit of a problem.
That is why it's called the corridor of uncertainty. Exactly. That is why. Now, about that question whether he does well in the Asia Cup or if he doesn't do well in the Asia Cup, I think we'll have to consider this aspect of not doing well in the Asia Cup. See, I had said at the very start, that I would still persist with Virat Kohli for the ICC World T20 because look, you can even count, he's done 7 years of great work across all formats. 3 years. Why can't you leave that as an aberration and get Virat Kohli in the T20 World Cup? Why? Because of big game experience. Forget that. Even when he's not been in form, and let's welcome Rahul after having done a major stint up.
On TV.
How
was that?
Virat Kohli in 3 years. Average of 37 in ODIs. In T20Is, he still averages 45, even in that lean patch. Now, Kohli, what do you do with him? I will still say, please let us get Virat Kohli in the World T20 for the big game experience.
Only.
Simple, big game experience. You have to give me a very, very solid reason to leave out Virat Kohli even in this lean patch.
Let's talk about I'm sure
We
you must
did.
have.
We spent a lot of time.
You must have already.
Yes, we have already
I
started.
Rishabh Pant and,
cannot
Hardik Pandya.
Or I can't talk less about how Hardik is done. Very, very proud and happy with how he's been playing.
Exactly. In fact, in the mid innings or pre-match show,
Yep.
we were discussing if I had to pick one player from this team,
Hardik Pandya.
I'll pick Hardik Pandya. You know, if he's fully fit, the way he's bowling, the way he's batting, and the way he's fielding, I think he seems to be, to me at least, he seems to be a man possessed. He can do nothing wrong, and it is also the confidence. I think both these players, both Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya, they back themselves. They are, I think, they are the kind of players who play a lot of their cricket with confidence. Both Hardik and Rishabh. But today what we've seen, in fact, a lot of people have been gunning for Rishabh's head, that he should not be there, he should not be there. See, this is the potential. We've seen him do so many times. He's won India matches so many times in Test cricket, but white ball cricket, he has been an underachiever. Today, what has happened in this series, in fact, earlier also what we've seen is that the team management has backed him.
Yes.
They've given him a responsibility. You bat up the order. They've promoted him to number 4. And he's responded, to that responsibility with some great knocks. At least this one. Last match, of course,
he was out for a duck. But today, the standout feature of Rishabh Pant was calculated, mature
game sense.
Yes.
Well, game sense, by the way, can give a little credit to that man. Because whenever you were watching, he was consistently speaking
to him. Yes, he from the other end, we could catch what he was talking to Rishabh Pant from the non-strikers end.
Yes.
He was, in fact, he kept telling him shabash, this, that, a lot of other things, and he played like a senior pro in that partnership. In fact, he was the aggressor. That's why when you say that calculated, I won't say calculated risk. There were no risks at all. I think they knew they could easily chase this target.
They just needed a stand.
Yes, they knew that the wicket is a belter of a track, and once they've negotiated that initial phase, they have runs written all over on that wicket. So for me, I think Rishabh Pant, but I'll give Hardik. Today he's the man of the series.
Man of the series, yes. 6 wickets,
not totally.
6 wickets and 101 runs at a strike rate of over 100.
I think he beats out Topley because of the runs factor.
Yes.
Today,
what was I saying? I was saying something. Anyways, you carry on.
Today, if there has been a game changer both with the bat and ball, it's been Hardik.
Yes.
Those 2 wickets of Butler and Livingston at a time when they were settled.
Yes.
It ensured England never got there to 300, 350, and this total would have been very tricky.
And that it seemed at one stage, because in the recent past, not just recent past, in fact, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, you will because at that time Rohit was also at peak of his powers. Virat was also scoring runs at will, and at that time what used to happen was that your middle order would hardly get any opportunity to win you games. The top 3 would more often than not get you runs.
That is what we discussed at the very beginning. It's the reverse of 2017 and 19.
And when your top order would fail, the middle order would crumble, because they had not been in those kind of situations that often. And but maybe Hardik Pandya, it is very easy for everybody to say, Rishabh Pant should play his natural game. But what is a natural game? You have to respect the situation also. You have to respect the condition also. Today what he did, he backed himself. He knew what he can do, and once they had seen that initial phase, both Hardik and Rishabh, and Hardik, by the way, was scoring at a fair clip.
Yes.
For Rishabh Pant, to just curb his natural instincts and not to go after the bowlers was a challenge. Must have been a challenge for him. But he batted with great maturity.
Yes, absolutely. GGK is saying we can't play even legendary players in ICC events beyond. Just stop.
Beyond their time.
Especially in shorter formats. Remember 2014 final Yuvraj. I fear same will happen to Virat. Your views? See, the numbers are not backing Virat. Agreed. And these two dismissals in the ODIs is simply a technical flaw.
Yeah.
Fifth, sixth line, poking both times. It isn't a mental issue so far. We thought it was a mental issue. It's not. It's also technical.
Yeah.
Now, all the flaws are coming out in the open. Now, big game experience, let's see. I guess Virat only has to take the call.
No, I think the BCCI will take the call if they take. And
Perhaps.
my take on this is that I think they'll stick with him till this World Cup cycle, because again, making that change now would be a bit disruptive potentially. But if it continues on till then, I think they'll just make that call.
If you don't take Virat to the ICC World T20, who are your backups? Yes, you have Surya, you have Shreyas.
Surya isn't a backup. Surya is starting. I think
you're Shreyas and Deepak. Shreyas and Deepak Huda. Do you trust them to win an ICC event games on your own bat?
See, Shreyas, the two obvious flaws here. Shreyas here, short ball. In Australia, that's going to be a problem. Deepak too raw. I haven't seen enough to be that convinced that I'm going to back him blindly. I like what I've seen of him.
Yes.
I really like what I've seen of him. But again, are you backing him to come into the pressure of an ICC tournament?
You saw what happened in 2019. Ambati Rayudu just 1 month before, there was nothing. You threw in Vijay Shankar, you threw in Rishabh Pant.
You had even DK batting at one point.
What happened? They felt the pressure and they didn't perform.
And that's not their natural batting position at that point. You were just throwing any solution against the wall to see what
either you can take a risk, you can take a punt that we'll go with a youngster with not too much of experience, or you go with the experience. Because what happens is, even today, what we've seen of Rishabh Pant, it's not that Rishabh Pant, see, he's been through a lot. He's seen these kind of situations. He's faced, he's failed more than he has won you the games. He has failed more. So, but it's an ongoing process. Every day you go out there, you learn something.
Exactly.
Yes.
With every situation, you learn something, that you've been there, you've done that. Today, I think Rishabh Pant will take a lot of confidence from this innings, because he was there right till the end to chase that target down for India. So Rishabh Pant, a lot of people would say,
potentially
it's a one-off, but it's the potential. I think it's not just Rishabh Pant would be relieved. A lot of other people would be relieved. A lot of people from that team management would be relieved. Virat Kohli would be relieved. Your Rohit Sharma would be relieved. Rahul Dravid would be relieved. The selectors would be relieved. Because you had people had their knives out for Rishabh Pant. They said, why is Sanju Samson not there? Why is Dinesh Karthik not there? Why is Ishan Kishan not there? But it's an investment.
Yes.
It's like a fixed deposit.
Yeah.
As far as Rishabh Pant is concerned, he's 24 or 25.
24.
He's 24, and it seems as if he's been playing for such a long time. 2019 World Cup, he was there, and in fact, people were fighting when he was not picked in the initial squad. There were so many people from around the world. They would say, how can a Rishabh Pant not be part of this World Cup squad?
Exactly.
He is a match winner. He will fail. But when he actually performs, more often than not, you will win.
And the proof is in the pudding. Look at his Test career.
Yeah.
He's won you so many matches in Sena countries. If that's not a sign of what potential or what greatness is there already, never mind potential. Because potential is, you think he can win you matches. He's already won you matches.
Simple. He is India's greatest wicket-keeper batsman as far as match-winning innings are concerned. Period. He's already,
at least in Test cricket.
So Mustafa Ismail is
sending us a lot of
love. Thank you so much, Mustafa. Sports Today is a brilliant channel. Experts are class professionals who analyze the game thoroughly. Nikhil and Rahul always told us about Pant's talent, and today we see why. An incredible innings. Yes.
Also with the Pant, I'll correct your analogy slightly. He's not a fixed deposit. he's more of a high risk SI, right?
Yes.
Because you know the potential,
Yeah.
you know there's a chance it can fail, but you know that if it takes off,
Yes.
then you're in for a lot of this thing,
Yeah.
and that's what's happened.
Equity with majority growth in
Yes,
it.
this is what has happened.
Exactly.
Finances
and,
today.
and not just with Pant, it would happen with a lot of players. You
Correct.
have to back them. You
Yes.
have to. This is a good thing about this team management, at least, which they have made it very clear right when they took over.
Yep.
When Rohit Sharma became the captain, Rahul Dravid also was appointed as the head coach. They made it very clear. They said that every player will be given a fair run.
Yeah.
Then only, till the time before you discard them, I don't know if that word is appropriate or not, before you drop them from the team, from the squad, they will be given enough chances to prove their mettle, and once they have done that, they will be. For Rishabh Pant, so he's been playing for such a long time, there must be something.
Yes.
I don't think Rishabh Pant is related to anybody in the BCCI or anywhere.
Right,
It's
right.
the talent, it's the potential, it's the match-winning performances that he has, that he's pulled off for over the years. And maybe white ball, as far as white ball cricket is concerned, I think you could actually see that maybe this is from here Rishabh Pant will be a changed player
Yeah.
in white ball also.
This could
This is the
potentially be a
start
new
of
dawn.
could be.
Yes.
Rishabh Pant being the total package in all formats.
Yes, hopefully.
Yep, hopefully, yes.
Because see, we saw how Butler has been keeping wickets and how Rishabh Pant has been keeping wickets, and in every condition. Of course, Josh Butler was not there for the test match, but even in conditions where swinging conditions, Rishabh Pant behind the stumps was exceptional. He was acrobatic, he was flexible, and today also the dismissal of Moeen Ali,
Yes.
you would see. It was not a great delivery. To be very honest, it was not a great delivery. But Rishabh Pant pulled off, and it seemed a very simple dolly catch in the end.
Yeah.
But it's the anticipation.
Yes.
It's Rishabh Pant's anticipation behind the stumps. How the bowler is bowling, where the ball lands, how
Yep.
it will behave, where it will turn, and how the batsman is getting himself ready to hit that ball, and it was pure anticipation. That is why these very small moves can actually make a huge difference in the result of the game. You had Mohammad Siraj standing at long off.
Yes,
Was
long off,
right?
long off.
That was a right-hander.
Yeah, when Craig Overton hit that six.
was there.
Yeah.
Mohammad Siraj. And at that time also, I was wondering, where is Virat Kohli? Usually what happens, you would have seen that so often, that even in IPL matches, when Virat is leading the team, when Virat is leading the Indian team, also was leading the Indian team rather. Now Virat is just taking a stroll with Rishabh Pant, walking around
Manchester.
at Manchester. In fact,
At Old Trafford, yes.
arms around his shoulders, Rishabh Pant, and both are just walking. And Virat is saying something to him. I'm sure he's
Today, it was the clash of the two wicket keepers, and Rishabh Pant has come out way on top. Because remember, Josh Butler missed the stumping of Rishabh Pant.
Pant of all people.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying, Rishabh Pant, even as wicketkeeper also,
Yes.
he has done brilliantly. I don't think, as of now, even Dinesh Karthik,
Yes.
Dinesh Karthik has been behind the stumps for so many years.
Exactly.
But over the years, with age, even his reflexes may have slowed down.
Yep.
And that anticipation, when I talk about, and also, you need to know your bowler also.
Yes.
Because Rishabh Pant has been playing with the same bunch of boys for such a long time, he can anticipate. He can actually anticipate what my bowler must be thinking.
Yep.
He can anticipate, and the first movement from the batsman he has to anticipate. So what I was saying, so usually what happens is, we would see Virat Kohli either fielding at long on or long off. Today what happened, I think bowler was Yuzi Chahal. Yuzi Chahal was the bowler, and Mohammad Siraj was at long off. He missed that catch and went for a 6. the umpires or the commentators said it was a very good at half chance. It was not a half chance.
No, it was a proper
It was a proper chance. It should have been a catch.
Yeah.
Next ball, what happened? Virat Kohli goes there at long off, and there's a dolly catch over there. So, and what usually happens is it's a busy place, long off, long on, especially against spinners.
And especially with a team like England.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, and when you drop one catch, you never know. Your confidence actually it takes a hit. Your confidence takes a hit, and you never know what could have happened in the last delivery. So, I am saying these minor few changes or just a good anticipation can make a huge difference. Ravindra Jadeja, the Butler catch.
Yes.
That was also about anticipation.
Exactly.
Because you one step here and there, just a slight, maybe a mini second, if you're slow to react, it could be a drop catch. I remember Virat Kohli once said, all about fitness and everything, confidence also on the field. So he says that, the kind of fitness that he is in. So what happens usually is you can actually make a catch look easy.
Yes.
Because you have maybe an extra mini second to react to how the ball is, where the ball is going to come, where the ball is going to land. So in the fielding also, these few little adjustments can actually make
expanding on the Jadeja fielding, I remember in the 2016 World T20 clash against Bangladesh, they needed
Hardik.
2 of 3. Hardik was bowling,
Dhoni.
2 mishits, and who took the catch there at deep? It was Jadeja. His athletic fielding ensured that we at least gave Bangladesh pressure.
Yes.
And Dhoni, we know that last ball run out, but it was Jadeja's catching that actually helped India win that game. They were on the cusp of being knocked out.
Even today, if you look at the catch which he took off, who was it?
Butler.
Yeah, Butler. If you see the replay, he had taken off as soon as Butler was through on his shot arc. He had taken off because he knew split second with the kind of power Butler has. If he takes off even a split second later, that's not a catch.
That's not a catch.
It's a boundary. But he took off, reached, and even whilst taking off, you saw how uncomfortable he was when taking the catch. Took it, he landed on his knees. Not a comfortable landing, glasses falling off again. But he took it. And that split second of anticipation makes all the difference.
The same thing with Liam Livingston also when he took that catch. 2 catches of anticipation.
Yes. And you know what happens when you are there at long off, long on, somewhere in the deep maybe, if the ball, if somebody actually, it's an aerial shot, at times, what you do is, you think, yaar, ye aayega, will I be able to reach there? Will I be able to reach there? In case I don't reach, if I go for a catch, it's a drop catch. One, of course, people would say that it's a drop catch, and also, it may result in a boundary just in case if it lands in front of you. But a good fielder would always back himself. He would say, no, I can make it. I can reach there. I can just reach underneath the ball. So that's what people like Ravindra Jadeja can do. Hardik Pandya, I think is also an exceptional outfielder. His throwing arm and his ability to hit stumps on so many occasions, just like Ravindra Jadeja has that ability. Even Hardik Pandya also, with the ball, with the bat, and now he's bowling at I don't know when was the last time we saw Hardik Pandya bowl 7 overs in a match.
And at the
do you remember?
I think it was pre-COVID.
And
that much I can remember. I think it was the pre-COVID
era. 7
era.
overs, bending his back.
Yes,
consistently at
135 to 140 pace each.
Ajay Patil, you check out our video that Shane has done on Babar Azam. You'll get to know why this century at Gaul was one of the best that he played, and he has broken several records in the process. So do check that video out. It's there on Sports Today. Pradeep Srivalsan.
Yeah, I like that. He's saying the halka dalna padega. So the funny part about that bit of commentary was that as soon as he tells Jadeja halka dalna padega, Jadeja absolutely fired 100 kmph.
Yes.
Best part about it. Huh?
Maybe that was the plan. But I don't know if the
English understood it.
But it was Dhoni's ultimate because it had one of my favorite shows. That isko Tarak Mehta dalo. Ulta Chashma. That was one of the things which was good. But Pradeep Srivalsan, of course, first century. We are all waiting for number 71. This number 1 is by far much better for Indian cricket. Agree. Absolutely agree. But we hope that Rishabh Pant can maintain this consistency, start of this consistency in T20 ice, and that will happen in the West Indies T20 ice. One hopes he maintains that. Now, where will KL Rahul be in ODI?
KL Rahul will bat in the middle order.
If that's assuming they don't lose faith in Shikhar Dhawan the way he's batting now.
Yeah,
Assuming.
because see, you have a Surya Kumar Yadav, I understand, but maybe because that was the original plan.
Yes.
Although since then the regime has changed, the team management has changed, the captain has changed, the coach has changed. Maybe your planning may have also changed.
Correct?
Nikhil Singh, I hope that has answered your question on Shikhar Dhawan. But yes, this ODI series was a struggle for him, unfortunately, and now he's got 3 more ODIs against the West Indies to showcase his mettle. One hopes that Dhawan can be, because see, even as an opener in ODI cricket, he could be in the fray for the 2023 World Cup.
I mean, in all fairness, it's even I'm saying that he's not at the best of series, but I don't think they're discarding him that quickly either. Simply because I think in ODIs his performances have been consistent.
Very consistent, yes.
I hope we've not missed any super chat. Unanimous is saying when I watch Jadeja's fielding and batting, the way he calculates his innings or things, I won't buy CSK's logic that he is a bad captain at CSK. He never had 100%.
Breaking news. We
Very
all
interesting.
agreed on that when MS Dhoni took over in Pune.
He was never branded as a bad captain, was he?
I don't think he was
Spoon feed.
I don't think he was branded a bad captain, but if Dhoni basically said that I was
That's the
spoon
word he
feeding him.
used. Yeah, that was the word he used.
No, but that actually, what you're saying that I was spoon feeding, or he I
used
think
the term. He didn't say
he said spoon feeding never works.
Works.
Yes.
So that is what I think he meant when he says that at CSK he never had 100%.
No. Also before when Dhoni in that, I remember because we dissected that entirely in one particular session. We didn't talk much about the match, just that.
Yeah.
So he said that, of course, in the beginning of his captaincy, I was giving him help.
Yeah.
But then I stopped because there's no good spoon feeding anymore.
Yes.
So.
See, that whole thing could have been avoided had Dhoni not used the word spoon feeding. Simple.
Or perhaps could have been avoided if they didn't give him the captaincy in the first place. If you
No,
had
if
an
he had
MS
said
there.
guidance and all that, spoon feeding and all,
Brother,
that's too strong a word.
You're telling me people wouldn't have jumped on guidance.
Whatever,
People would have
guidance.
done that anyway.
It makes for far lesser controversy than the spoon feeding bit.
Yeah.
And Dhoni threw him under the bus here in that Pune match. I mean, he just dissected his captaincy and ensured he will not be the captain of CSK even for the next couple of generations, if you have to look at it. And whether those issues that he had with CSK get sorted out in 2023, I hope so. But if it is not sorted out, do not be surprised about it. All goes back to that Pune incident that happened.
Yes.
Simple.
Pradeep Srivalsan is saying a solid
That's
reason.
the solid reason.
Virat Kohli has a technical issue. Either he works on it or we may have seen the best of Kohli. I think we have already seen the best of Kohli. Whatever we will see next,
Yeah. Bonus
even
at
if
this point.
Virat recovers from this bad phase of his form, I don't think I'll be surprised if Virat can attain the same heights that he
Yeah,
did
absolutely.
before 2019
Yeah.
or till 2019.
Yeah, I think he might have to adapt some things
We
about his
may
batting.
have to now move.
Beyond to sky.
The sky is already there.
Yeah. So, Shivam, can we take a few more questions with your permission?
Now, whether we can say Pant will be picked before DK for
A
T20.
creative man is.
Yeah.
Why is he so?
In pre-match live, he said that England जीतेगा और नहीं जीता तो मैं आपको बता
Wow.
Oh, okay. So, creative man had actually. I have sent you rupees 10,000. He's saying.
Excellent.
So basically, he had predicted an England victory today, and because
They
India
did.
have won the game, so he's saying I have sent you rupees 10,000, but.
Yeah.
Do something good with those 10,000
10,000.
creative.
Yep.
Man, do something creative.
You
with
have to
that.
be creative, yes.
Ravi Bachchani. Oy hoy. Now, whether we can say Pant will be picked before DK for T20, I think Rishabh Pant was always there. It
Yes.
was just that DK was fighting for a place.
Exactly.
And at one stage, it seemed that DK may just pip Rishabh Pant in that. Because see, Rishabh Pant was already there. He was the incumbent,
Yes.
Right.
if you have to say. Rishabh Pant. So, who came from outside? Dinesh Karthik came
yes.
from outside after a phenomenal performance in the last season of the IPL, and he was given a specific role.
Yes.
That you have to do this, and he's done reasonably well. Whatever little opportunities that he's got, he's done fairly well. I won't say that he has set the stage on fire, but he's still done pretty okay. So, but has he done enough to replace Rishabh Pant?
That remains a big question, because see, DK with the bat has been great in T20Is and in the IPL, but with the keeping, he's dropped catches.
In Ireland, he looked less than convincing.
Yes.
And see, some of that could be, you can say, maybe rustiness, not getting to keep in such conditions. Okay, he was okay during the IPL.
Yep.
But some of it could also be, as Rahul was pointing out, that, age is catching up and reflexes do slow down. That's just, father time waits for no man.
See, again, as we pointed out at the start of the show, Pant and DK are heading to Australia, but who plays in the playing 11 still remains. And again, this is the assumption that he'll be picked for the T20s based on his performance in the ODIs. Let's wait for Pant, how he does well in West Indies. Let's just see how he can do it. Okay.
Go down.
To be fair, it's just a lot of spam.
Yeah, it is a lot of spam.
Go down.
Yep.
There's nothing to.
There is.
That's down.
That's it. We have reached rock bottom there.
Oh.
So.
Rock bottom?
Yep. We are right at the bottom of the comments. Rock bottom of the comments.
Kushal Chobisa has Chobisa. Would that
Chobisa 24. Kushal 24. We are doing the same mistakes by getting into large group of players.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about that a lot as well. Currently, I mean, we had 6 spinning options. 6 spinning options.
No, they have increased that pool to 6
by bringing in an R Ashwin.
Yeah, R Ashwin, Bishnoi.
Bishnoi is already there.
Kuldeep is also there. Bishnoi is also there.
Chahal,
now you have
Jadeja.
Ashwin also. Chahal is also there. You have Akshar Patel. There.
6.
So you have a backup for every bowler now.
Yep.
You have backups for backups, quite frankly.
Yeah. Layer by layer, the layers are coming.
Because Ashwin is like a backup to your batting all-rounders. So bowling all-rounders.
The odds of India winning the ODI World Cup, the awesome Pawan, the awesome sky is
I like the confidence in his username, man.
Yeah, the awesome Pawan.
Exactly.
So, odds of India, that's still about a year to go, a year and a half to go. So,
Let's take one World Cup at a time, please.
One World Cup, yeah. Focus on T20 World Cup. After that, let us see on the ODI World Cup. But yes, chances are high, it's in India, home conditions.
And to answer Aryan Nakhat, end of the road for DK? No. Because I still think he's the second choice. And quite frankly, it was always a case of 2 things happening for him to become the first choice. He had to be performing consistently, which to be fair he has. But Pant suddenly has raised his own stock, which means that as the incumbent, you have that credit in the bank. So I think he'll be there in the side. But I don't see him being the starter.
Yes.
Not at this point.
Not absolutely. Ekpreet Singh, want to ask Rahul, if KL bats in middle order in both T20 and ODI, it will be better for Indian cricket. Middle order will become much more stronger.
So again, in place of Kohli.
So KL would be your opener in T20s.
Yes.
And as far as middle order is concerned, your middle order is fairly okay. It's just that after whatever you do, you'll have to do after the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
There will be a transition phase, and then you have to see and realize what happens. Then again, the same process. Just blood these youngsters. You already have some very talented youngsters.
True.
You have I don't know if Surya Kumar Yadav, we can call him a youngster or not, but because age, he's in terms of age, he's pretty senior. But then so you have Rishabh Pant already there. You have Surya Kumar Yadav. Deepak Hooda is doing pretty well.
Yep.
I'm sure you'll see a lot of Deepak Hooda in times to come, irrespective of whether he makes it to that T20 World Cup squad or not. I think the next phase after the T20 World Cup, you will see these very players only. In fact, Deepak Hooda, in my viewpoint, I think he should make the cut for that T20 World Cup.
Yes.
Anyways, it's been quite
If you have to look at
today.
if you have to look at for the past 1.5 years, this tour has gone on. Right from July till now. So India,
1.5.
2021 August to
This is
1 year.
One year.
July. 1 year.
1.5 years is a lot. Yeah.
So The test series was drawn 2-2. India have won the T20I and ODI series 2-1.
Yeah.
So it's been a fairly successful tour, but yeah, you could have won the test series.
The test series would have been won
Yeah.
had there not been a change in management.
Yes.
That particular test team under Joe Root,
Yep.
it was potentially 3-1.
3-1, absolutely. So, yeah,
Yeah, I think we can call it
we can call it a day. Congratulations to India for ending the Manchester nightmare.
and thank God for Rishabh Pant and
Thank
Hardik
God for
Pandya.
Rishabh Pant coming, as Rahul had said, relief for a lot of Indians,
Yeah.
relief for Rohit, relief for Virat, relief for the Indian management, relief for 1.3 billion Indians, essentially.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us for this live, folks. We'll be back with more cricket news, more analysis. It's an action-packed sporting month, folks. You have CWG, you have India West Indies, you have the Chess Olympiad, and in between you have Formula One. That also. So sports never stops. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Rahul. Thanks for your time, and Vanakkam.
Welcome.